Good day to you. Today we're going to look at a chapter, Employee Participation and Involvement, which is the final chapter in the HRM series. And we started off exploring the definition, the concept of HRM, the various theories, the motivation theories, recruitment, selection, reward management. Then we looked into industrial relations, training and development. Finally, we are going to take a look at employee participation and involvement. Now, what is employee involvement about? It is the process of informing and consulting about aspects of decision making. This is a huge development when it comes to the HRM function, because earlier it was command and control. Now we've reached a stage wherein we're talking about employee involvement, wherein the employees are informed about the aspects of decision making and they are consulted. And what is employee participation about? It involves employees either themselves or through their elected representatives, say as a trade union, in the decision making machinery of the organization. Employees have a say in the decision making aspect of the organization. It means they have increased value. Now let us take a deeper look at the employee voice matrix. When it comes to shared agenda and direct and indirect involvement, see, in this quadrant wherein you have a shared agenda and direct involvement of the employee, there is an issue, there is employee involvement. And when you have a shared agenda, you have partnership agreements. Moving on to contested agenda, where there is an issue and you need to resolve disputes, and there is direct involvement, you have a grievance procedure. Say for example, how to resolve day-to-day activities. When you have problems, you have a definite defined grievance procedures. Now if it involves a larger group, it has to be done through an indirect involvement. Management talks with the union representatives and you have the collective bargaining. So this is normally defined as the employee voice matrix, wherein you have the shared agenda versus the direct involvement and the indirect involvement. Moving on. So what is the purpose of employee voice? Why you need to look into this concept? No, it gives an opportunity and it's the ability of individual employees to voice their dissatisfaction. Ability of employees collectively to express their needs and wishes. So how do you really understand the needs and wishes of a particular individual or a group or a team or a department? It is through employee voice. Now, ability for employees to contribute to management decisions. Now this gives an avenue for employees to contribute to management decisions in their own significant way. Ability for employees and employees to focus on shared goals. No longer is the employer and the employee two different ends of the spectrum. You need to shake hands somewhere, and this empowerment and employee involvement gives the ability for employers and employees to focus on shared goals. Now what are the mechanisms of employee voice? There are two types of representative participation, wherein you have a body, let's say a trade union, representing a group of employees or a particular industry or a particular region. So you have collective representation and joint consultation, wherein issues are taken up, issues which impact the job conditions or the demand and supply of labor and the other working conditions, the pay structure. All these are taken up and these are discussed through representative participation. What is upward problem solving? There is two-way communication, wherein information is shared between the different levels of the organization. It goes up and down. And what is upward communication? Information and feedback is obtained from the lower levels so that it is channelized to the uppermost levels of the management, and corrective and suitable measures are taken. And what are project teams? Project teams are put together to arrive at a solution for a significant problem wherein you need a solution. So these are specific teams, just to say, to increase the quality in a particular process or to improve customer satisfaction. These are specifically designed teams. These are mechanisms of employee voice. What is employee participation about? It concerns the extent to which employees, often where their representatives, are involved in the decision making machinery of the organization. So employees voice their views, their grievances and their ideas through their elected representatives, so that it is incorporated in the decision making process of the organization. Now, moving on to consultation. It means talking formally to employees' representatives to understand their ideas and views, what is their position on matters affecting their employment, to canvass employee representatives' views, what is the general mood, what is the current trend, how will the workforce respond to a particular change, let's say the introduction of new technology, or any new legislation, or if you're going for a certification, what is the workforce mood, how are they going to respond to it, are they geared up for it. So representatives' views on matters affecting them. What about the financial participation of employees in the company's performance? Now, in the end, when the company makes a huge profit, it has to be shared. How it is going to be shared? What is the way forward? It involves consultation with the employees' representatives on how to share the profits with the employees. Extending employees' awareness of financial economic factors affecting the company's performance. Now, this gives a better understanding to the workforce through their elected representatives on the overall factors affecting the industry, the demand and supply of labor, what is their current position. It makes things a little more sensible, so that employees' awareness goes up when it comes to the financial parameters or the operational parameters, what is the competitor doing. So it gives an avenue for all people involved to understand things in a better and a clear way. Now, what are the different employee involvement techniques? It describes a wide range of policies and techniques for informing and consulting employees about or associating them with one or more aspects of running an organization. We need to concentrate on the words informing and consulting employees about or associating them with one or more aspects of running an organization. It is to spread an awareness, giving them a sensitivity training, so to say, what is real decision making. You will have a say as an employee. This is one of the employment techniques. Let's move on to what is the aims of involvement. What is really the aim of involving people in decision making? Why you should involve employees in decision making process? What is the benefit? First and foremost is to generate commitment, to raise the commitment level of the employees and to raise the bar, so that a highly committed workforce gives you a better result. To improve performance, obviously when your performance improves, your productivity improves and your net profit increases. So to meet changing customer requirements, only when you are at the edge of the seat and you are on your toes and you can understand what is your customer's requirement in a rapidly changing scenario, you can respond in an equally effective way, and if you involve your employees, you will get better results. To attract and retain skilled labor. Now, this is one of the reasons why you need to have an empowered workforce, and you need to involve workers and the labor pool in decision making aspects. To increase business awareness of labor at all levels, as I mentioned earlier, it gives ideas on the financial, the operational aspects of a business. It gives better understanding than merely fighting for your basic rights and conditions and better pay. It gives you a balanced outlook. So to increase the business awareness of labor at all levels and to increase employee incentives. An empowered workforce is a knowledgeable workforce. They know better what are the terms and conditions operating in their environment. So when it comes to designing incentives, an empowered workforce gives you an edge, and you can design better incentives for them. So moving on. What are the different employee involvement categories? Now, one is downwards communication, the other is upwards problem solving, financial participation and representative participation. What do you mean by downwards participation is that, or downwards communication? Information is filtered and it's sent down the different levels, so that there is no break in the chain of command and the communication is clear. Now, all communication pertaining to matters in the organization is very clear and transparent, and it's sent and it is percolating to all the levels. Upwards is collecting information from the bottommost levels and it is channelized to the topmost levels of the organization. Financial participation is again, how do we split the profit, how do we include the workforce in the profit sharing plans, let's say the employee stock options or plant wide bonuses. And the representative participation, how do we involve the employees, representatives, the unions, to deliver results in a better way. Now, how do you encourage employee involvement? It is by empowerment and by including them in the cultural and strategic priorities of the business, giving them importance and place in the crucial aspects of decision which will have an impact on the workforce, and obviously by empowerment, giving them enough power to take day-to-day decisions which affects them and the customer, wherein you don't have to run back to the whole chain, the topmost position, to take certain minor decisions. Empowering your lowest level employees and teams to take decisions which will affect their performance and ultimately your customer satisfaction. Now, what are the downward communication mechanisms? Now, you can have an effective downward communication mechanism through your in-house journals, wherein you can publish what are the recent efforts, what is the trend in the industry. By team briefings, line managers can have regular team briefings to announce the decisions, what are the new schemes and incentives available, and what is that you can expect from the company in the next quarter or in the next financial year. And management, by walking around, it is to have a feel of the workplace and to know what is the condition under which your workers are executing their day-to-day activities, to understand what they really feel. It is a very good technique. Now, upward communication, how it is achieved is through questionnaires, through interviews and focus groups. Now, questionnaires are carefully designed to bring out the best information possible which you are targeting. Interviews are a bit time consuming, but the best interviewers can bring out what information they require, and by targeting a particular group, you can bring out the information which the management seeks. And focus groups is a random sample of employees wherein you take a sample and ask them questions and you focus and you bring out the issues and get their opinion. This gives you the three different techniques or the mechanism of upward communication, wherein you can have a feel of what is the mood of the workforce when it comes to the different issues the management is facing.